Hello there, YouTube. This is the Rogue Gem Player here, and coming at you with an updated Fire Fist deck profile. It's been a while since I put this up. Thought I'd bring in an updated version. There isn't a whole lot of changes, but the theory of the deck has actually changed quite drastically. Thanks to not really the ban list doesn't really change the deck all that much, except for some consistency hits. But the way the deck operates changes because of new stuff coming in, new cards that have come out, and just overall, just being better with the deck is kind of what helped. So let's get right into it. So the first things first, we're going to start with 3 copies of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Raven. Raven is probably the best normal summon-esque card, just because you summon this, you go into Almirage, and then you instantly get any fire formation spell from the deck, which is important because it gives you access to Tenki, Tensu, and then any of the one-ofs that you play. And also, it's another one of those, hey, it's a card that summons or that you can play that just kind of gives you advantage for no reason. Then, for other stuff, we're playing 3 copies of Dragon. Thanks to the Link Monster, it's a free summon from grave once per turn. Instead of having to ditch anything. It also gives you access to the trap, the counter trap, which is important because it kind of gives you an actual disruption. And it's also good for combo enabling. Then for other stuff, playing 1 copy of Spirit, 2 copies of Rooster. This is part of the 3-axis portion of the combo. Basically, you're going to use Rooster to kind of give you something, and then you use Spirit to bring it back, and then you can float through Horse Prince into another Rooster. So this is kind of why you're playing the 1-2 ratio. So you always have access to it off the Horse Prince. And then for kind of like the semi-important stuff, the kind of more important stuff, 3 copies of Elephant and 3 copies of Panda. These are probably the best cards in the deck for a couple of reasons. So you have Elephant that can get you into your Panda, and then Panda is just a free summon. If you activate a Fire Formation, it does lock you into Beast Warriors, or more specifically Fire Fist monsters. But the fact that it is a free card, just gives you a lot of advantage, and just the ability to just special summon monsters and just recur advantage. So. And then the remaining 2 one-ofs are the 1 copy of Bear and the 1 copy of Buffalo. Bear is actually really important for a very specific combo in the deck. It's involving using Tiger King to to use Bear to blow up, Tiger King to float into 2 monsters. It just gives you really, really, really good, recursion, because you can actually link ladder with it. And then Buffalo is just a free summon once per turn with Eagle. For kind of hand traps, 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Nib, and the 1 copy of Droll and Lockbird. These are really good. Now that things like Appaloosa are out of the game, you kind of have to play the Nibiru now, just because the combos that the decks are creating have not changed. However, some certain degenerate stuff have been eliminated, but the things like Fiend Smith, Snake Eyes, they still play. They just don't have access to a negate through Appaloosa, which was the main deterrent to this card. But this card is still relevant, so keep that in mind. Now for spells, we're going to start with 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. It's a free Rhoda. It's a free search once per turn. Unfortunately, it doesn't search out Panda, but Elephant searches Panda anyway, so you always have access to the entire Beast Warrior toolbox. It's also one of those fire formations that you can use for other cards. We're then playing 3 Tensu. This is probably one of the few that you could probably cut and would probably be fine if you wanted to cut like a copy. But the fact that it is a double summon gives you more advantage, and it's just one of those, hey, free cards. And then we're playing the 1 copy of Dome, the 1 copy of Ingen, and the 1 copy of Fire Fortress atop Elan Peak. This is part of the one-of engines You do play the fusion monster. We don't play the ritual in this deck, but the fact that one's a recursion, the other one is recurs from graveyard to hand, the other one is a special summon, and then Ian Peak is just a free. Um, it's just a free, advantage card that you can search that can bestow effects, and then if you really get to the point where you can get 10 counters on it, you get a free monster out of it. So. And then the remaining 2 cards are 1 copy of Triple Tax's Talent and the 1 copy of Called by the Grave as kind of like one-ofs that I like to play. So, for traps, 2 copies of the Ultimate Fire Formation Sinto. It is a spell trap negate that you can search off of Dragon. So it's a disruption that the deck really needs. The only drawback to the card is if you do not have a Fire Formation and a Fire Fist, you can't use it. But the major combos will always ensure you have at least one of each. So it's a searchable disruption that you really should play if you have access to it. And then 3 copies of Imperm because it's a good generic, hand trap. If you want to play other things, that's fine. It's completely up to you. There's a lot of flexibility, just because of the way the deck, how small the core for the Fire Fist specifically is. So for the extra deck, we're playing it's changed, but it also hasn't, just because some cards got cut, other things haven't. So the major thing is Elephant and Panda. The combo itself will lock you into Beast Warrior Fire Fists, but the rest of the deck can play whatever it wants. So we're going to start with 3 copies of Eagle. It is the best Fire Fist in the entire deck now because it says when you activate a Fire Fist effect that would send Fire Formations, you do not have to. And then it just allows you to Foolish a Fire Fist monster, and then bounce a Fire Formation from your graveyard back to your hand, which is actually really important because you can send Buffalo to the graveyard, and then you instantly have access to it. So it's a kind of like a free link 3. And then the 1 Peacock as kind of like a mini Borload, whatever you. It's another kind of like one of those Fire Fist monsters that you can really play. And then for the remaining 1 of Fire Fist monsters, playing 1 copy of Tiger King, the 1 copy of Swan, and the 1 copy of Horse Prince. So the purpose of this is the Tiger King is used for a combo involving Bear, where you blow up Bear with Eagle on board, and you get 2 dragons, and then you all of a sudden have a lot of free link material that gives you access to other things. So keep that in mind. Swan is just it's part of the it's summoned off of the fusion Fire Formation, and it's also just one of those, hey, we're gonna do a bunch of things with it, and the Horse Prince is used for Spirit. So that's all the Fire Fist related stuff. We're gonna start with the kind of like generics and fire stuff. So the 1 copy of Almirage, this is in here because Raven is 0 attack or 200 attack, so it can be summoned off of it. It's also a fire, which is important. So the 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, the 1 copy of Hida. You're still playing. There's still Snake Eye running around, so you might as well play it. And then the 1 Daruma Cannon. This is kind of like a blow up spell trap, and also gains a little bit of attack. So these are the Link 2s. For Link 3s, we're playing the 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn and the 1 copy of Promethean Princess. This is in here because we are playing the Amblo Whale combo. And you play a lot of fires, so you can always recur things. So you can play Under a Lock really, really well. And then the last card, in case you really need it, is 1 copy of Access Code Talker. Just because it's a generic Link 4 that just says we can win the game. Because you can just pump it up and then blow up, 2 or 3 cards off it. You have enough extra deck space to kind of play whatever you wanted. So, why not? So, that's the deck, guys. Like I said, it's one of those decks that every once in a while it's going to have that random, like, hey, we're going to generate a bunch of advantage. And with every new piece of Beast Warrior support, especially generic, Fire Beast Warrior support, it's only going to get better. Eventually they're going to give us probably something down the line. But the fact of the matter is that outside of a very few handful of cards, the rest of the deck is pretty free. It generates advantage, and then it kind of snowballs And then because of Eagle saying you don't have to pay cost for any of the Fire Fist effects, meaning that cards that normally would cost 2 are now free. So you can blow up a card once a turn with Bear. You can get free advantage off the Tiger King when you use Bear to blow it up. You know, there's a lot of things that, because the card says if you send a Fire Fist or Fire Formation, when you send a Fire Formation, you don't have to pay for it. So thank you for you guys stopping by. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.